shall ward, blow, or thrust made at your right or left part with any kind of weapon, remember to draw your hind foot a little circularly from that part to which the same shall be made, whereby you shall make your defense perfect, and shall stand the more apt to strike or thrust from it. Brief Instructions upon My Paradoxes of Defense, Chapter 2, Section 6, by George Silver. Greetings, fencers of the interwebs. My name is William Kilmer, Will or Bill to most, Billy to exactly 2. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I fence at Worcester Historical Swordsmanship in Worcester, Massachusetts. Do you have a moment to talk about the true fight of George Silver? Well, that's too bad, because we're not going to be talking specifically about Silver today, or not exactly, but rather about something generally useful to people who practice sword arts if they have a certain fault. We're going to be looking at briefly a training aid or game which was suggested to me by Alex Henning, who does martial artsy stuff in Seattle, Washington, USA, and is, I guess, also a pretty good dancer. It has been noted by Ken Monshine, my instructor, among others, that I have a tendency to over-parry in forehand ward. My wards go wider than they need to in saber guards 3 and 4. This is not only a waste of effort, but also makes me especially vulnerable if I am deceived, because I have to recover so far to close the line on the opposite side. Indeed, Paul Wagner and Stephen Hand have remarked that if one is moving circularly, as Silver recommends, the hand may remain almost still as the body moves behind the blade, which I have always understood intellectually, but had difficulty teaching myself to do physically until Alex suggested a game with a rubber chicken, which has, I think, helped me. So if you have this problem, or if someone you know does, perhaps this might help you also. What you need is an object, a rubber chicken, or in this case, a wineskin, which you place under the sword arm. Then, the student takes up a guard in forehand ward or staccata, and the instructor makes attacks in the outside and inside line. The object is that the student should, as the patient, ward with a minimum of movement of the hand, and that the student shall not defend with distance in this exercise, moving only in the traverse as necessary. When you've played with that a bit, of course, don't drop the chicken or the pillow or the wineskin or whatever you're using. Good. Didn't drop the... When you have played with that a bit, you may add reposts by the student if you wish. Of course, on a repost, the chicken falls, but not before. You can, of course, do this game with buffers or with single sticks, and you can invent other variations, such as adding attacks to the legs, which may be slipped, or whatever. But this gives you the basic variation. The idea is to create trust that a narrow parry is enough. Just as the voiding exercises we looked at in episode 6A are designed to teach how a small void is enough to keep you safe. The student will, of course, be hit, but will learn viscerally what a minimum movement is required to stay safe. Try this out if you or someone you know tends to wide parries. If you found this interesting or helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the flip side. As most of you know, I've been studying the true fight of George Silver for about 3.5 years now. I am not an expert. I'm just a student trying to share the resources that I have found helpful and the conclusions that I have reached so far. I rely heavily upon the expertise of those who have gone before, and I intend to credit their works and opinions whenever I reference them. If I have failed to do so, or you feel that I have misrepresented or misattributed your views, or failed to state that a certain erroneous view is entirely my own, please let me know in the comments or privately, and I will endeavor to make corrections and amends in a subsequent video. All errors are, of course, entirely my own. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the flip side.